Title: How Alex Became a Pilot. Alex was a curious and cheerful young boy who lived in a small town near the mountains. From the time he could walk, he had always been fascinated by airplanes. Every afternoon after school, he would sit in the garden with his little binoculars and watch the planes fly high above the clouds. He loved the sound of engines roaring in the sky and dreamed of sitting in the cockpit, steering a giant flying machine through the air. At night, instead of fairy tales, Alex asked his parents to read books about famous pilots, airports, and flying machines. He had a growing collection of toy planes, posters of jets on his bedroom walls, and even a pillow shaped like an airplane. Flying was not just a hobby for Alex, it was his greatest dream. One bright Saturday morning, Alex's father surprised him with a trip to the airport. It wasn't just any airport, it was the city's main international airport, where planes from all over the world landed and took off. Alex's heart raced with excitement as he and his father passed through security and walked out to the viewing deck. Massive aircraft stood on the tarmac like sleeping giants, waiting to be awakened. While they were watching the planes, a friendly pilot noticed Alex's wide-eyed amazement. The pilot, whose name was Captain Roberts, walked over and greeted them. "Do you like airplanes?" he asked, smiling. Alex nodded enthusiastically and replied, "I love them. I want to be a pilot one day." Captain Roberts chuckled warmly. "Would you like to see the inside of the cockpit?" he asked. Alex gasped. "Really?" he said, almost in disbelief. The pilot led them carefully onto a stationary aircraft and opened the cockpit door. Inside were dozens of buttons, switches, and screens. To Alex, it looked like a spaceship. As he sat in the co-pilot's seat, Alex touched the controls gently, his eyes shining with wonder. Captain Roberts explained what each button did and how pilots communicate with the tower. Alex listened carefully, asking questions about altitude, navigation, and how planes stay in the air. That magical moment inside the cockpit stayed with him forever. From that day on, Alex became even more determined. He started reading more serious books about aviation and aerodynamics. He learned about the Wright brothers, Amelia Earhart, and modern commercial jets. At school, he worked hard in maths and science, knowing these subjects would help him understand how planes fly. His teachers noticed his dedication and supported his dream. As the years went by, Alex never gave up. While his friends changed their minds about what they wanted to be, Alex stayed true to his goal. When he finished school, he applied to a flying academy and was accepted. The training was difficult, long hours of studying, learning how to read instruments, and flying small training planes in all kinds of weather. There were times when Alex felt tired or unsure of himself, especially during difficult tests, or when he had to land during strong winds. But he remembered his promise to himself, and the feeling of sitting in that cockpit years ago. He kept pushing forward, learning from every mistake, and growing stronger with every flight. Eventually, the day came when Alex earned his pilot's license. He wore his uniform with pride and couldn't stop smiling. His parents watched proudly as he took off on his first official flight as a co-pilot. Years later, Alex became a captain, just like Captain Roberts, and flew across the world from busy cities to distant islands, carrying passengers safely to their destinations. And every time a young passenger asked to see the cockpit, Alex smiled, just like his hero once did, and said, "Would you like to take a look inside?" Because for Alex, flying wasn't just a job. It was a dream come true.